Nisboere word met trots geborg deur Laveld Agrochem en JAC Motors.
Welkom terug. Nou is dit weer tyd vir iets heeltemal anders.
Dis reg Philip. By ons in die ateljee is Zahid van HempVest Afrika. Welkom Zahid.
Baie dankie.
Zahid, ek raak elke keer deur mekaar. Wat is die verskil tussen hemp en cannabis asseblief?
The major differences, I think, between hemp and cannabis. On hemp, it's low in THC. So it's less regulated, and that's regulated under the Department of Agriculture. So Good. It's simply because in your hemp, your CBD and any of your cannabinoids do not make you high, and it's used for there are two purposes, either industrial hemp or you can have medicinal hemp.
Good.
Okay, and the difference between them is simply in the hemp side you have industrial hemp, which is male plants, and high CBD, which is female plants, and obviously cannabis, which has high THC, which is regulated by SAPRA.
Maar nou, kom ons vir die hemp, vir die industriële gebruike. Wat is die geleenthede daar binne? Wat kan jy alles daarmee maak?
There's over 550 users of industrial users, or actually more. So from construction to bedding, to medicines, to seed, to protein. So there's so many different users. I think the important thing is that in the industrial hemp, you have low CBD. So if it is for extraction, the CBD content is low. But your other elements of stalk being used for construction or for bedding or for chips or for wall or insulation or for bricks, you can use the stem. Then you can use the roots, which is used for different medicinal benefits. And then the biomass, the biomass is a huge demand. Especially with America coming on board, and especially with South Africa passing the new bill last week.
Yeah, that's good news.
It has a huge opportunity for industrial users. Okay. So I think from an industrialization perspective, the hemp will play a key role for South Africa in the next few years.
It's going to be important for us and our viewers that always looking for new opportunities, obviously either to diversify from farming risk, but if you say bricks or industrial, whatever, is it affordable currently, or is it still early days?
Well, I think for diversification for farmers, I think the important thing is to really understand what is it that they want to do on the farm. If they have infrastructure like tunnels and greenhouses and some infrastructure, boreholes and water, that's good. Yes, it's an easy diversification or strategic stretch from vegetables to hemp. We did that. We were actually producing vegetables, and as the law became better and we got better at what we were doing, we sunset and we stopped the veggies and we moved over to the hemp side.
That's interesting.
Okay, so we started off in the hemp side. So over the last 3 years, the first 2 years, we had greenhouses, so we were growing tomatoes, cucumbers, cabbages, and all the infrastructure was there. So the drip irrigation, the greenhouses were all there, the pump stations were there. So it's very easy for those type of farmers to diversify.
Good.
Because everything is the same. On the industrial hemp side, it's male plants, the volume, it's a volume game. You have to do a minimum of at least 25 hectares to start seeing profits. And less infrastructure, but what is needed in industrial hemp side, even though it's done outside on 25 hectares, jy kan maar dink, hoe gaan jy dat process? When you must harvest it, where are you going to put this thing?
Exactly.
So most people say to me, I got a 50-hectare farm, I'm going into hemp. I say, good luck. Have you got the processing power? Because alles moet uitkom in 'n week. So, if you've got 100 tons of thing, or 100 tons coming out at the same time, and you don't have a building to process it, you're going to lose all your money. And that's what I found out when I went to America in the beginning, in 2018, and before I went into this, I said, laat ek nou oor gaan, ek gaan sien. I didn't go over to see, how it was done. I went to and see, hoe kom fail hulle? Why are they failing? Well, I mean, as much as this industry is booming around the world, why are people failing? So, one of the key things was lack of processing, inability to actually take all of that and turn it into your stems, retting it, or baling it, or sending it off to construction. And I think that's in South Africa at the moment is our challenge. Where government is working on that to try and see how they can get the processing power going, because the processing is a huge requirement.
Sure.
Maar ek wil jou vra, kom ons begin net eers met wetgewing. Want dit is my gevoel of ons bietjie amper te soos wat hulle sê altyd die Jack Russell het nou die bakkie gevang, né?
Okay.
Maar of ons dalk te vinnig was in die industrie gewees en ons het klomp ouens gehad wat miljoene rande geïnvesteer het en daarvan het niks gekom en baie het bankrot geraak. Is die wetgewing gesort dat mense nou dit kan legally verbou en verkoop?
Yeah, op die hemp, yeah.
Goed.
Okay, so on the hemp side, let's start with the hemp side. On the hemp side, definitely, especially with regards to the new Private Purposes Act that was passed 2 days ago. And that really allows us to take cannabis out of the Prohibited Substances Act. And it allows us to have more regulation around how they protect the health and kids, as well as how do they actually sort out the commercial issues. So I think that's a good start for South Africa to really become a global player in the hemp and cannabis side.
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, from an education perspective, lots of us need some education.
Definitely.
You know, when people, I was never a farmer. I came from economic development, and when people said, "Oh, you're going into cannabis," the minute they think cannabis, I think, "Oh goodness, this guy's a drug dealer." But I think it's about education. It's definitely a sector that's open.
Just on that point of education, because you explained to me earlier the part that's working, say, from the shoulders downwards and upwards. Just how do you distinguish that difference for the viewers?
Okay, so I mean, your endocannabinoid system, all of us have endocannabinoid system, and the cannabinoid system is really broken down into CBD1 and CBD2 receptors. CBD1 where it works from your head upwards, and that's where it's THC.
That's for cannabis, no?
Cannabis, okay, so THC.
Okay, cool.
So THC is the cannabinoid that makes you high, and it works from your head upwards. So lekker hoog. And from CBD side of things, it's obviously from your shoulders downwards, and it there's lots of other cannabinoids, CBD, CBN, CBG. So I think as the industry is moving on, everybody's focused on CBD products, but more and more they're coming up with medicinal benefits for all other cannabinoids. And that will work on your CBD receptors from your shoulders down. So all your organs work better and they have different receptors, hence different genetics in hemp and in cannabis have different results because of the terpenes. So if you want to sleep, you have a terpene called limonene that allows you to sleep. So you're going to grow plants that with limonene to create the product to make people sleep. So, there is a whole thing, you have to choose the genetic.
You can manage that.
What you're going to grow for what you're going to produce. And people don't understand those, so they just go and get any genetic and they want to know why they can't sell it. Because you just try to grow a genetic that's supposed to be for sleep, but in actual fact, it's going to keep you alert.
That's my other concern, back to Philip, but just walking into any shelf or going to these markets where they have amounts of different kinds of cannabis and CBD, whatever, but there's no idea what's in there, no guarantee. Are you actually buying the real McCoy?
It's a big problem because, and this is hopefully with regards to this bill being passed 2 days ago, it will give clarity around specific rules. Remember, there was a grey area.
That's needed.
So everybody was operating under the grey area, whether it be hemp or THC. I mean, most of the stores, if not 99.9% out of them that's with cannabis stores out there are all illegal.
Sure.
There is no legal platform for you to have a THC or transact in THC or go in and buy it. And what this bill allows us is to be able to come up with policy that regulates not only what we're doing as a country, but how do we actually get commercial options right down to retail for the industry.
Maar kom ons vat saam. Is dit in ons land? Kan ons kompeteer met die res van die wêreld? Kan ons dit ekonomies groei? Kom ons begin daar.
Definitely so. This is why the focus is on South Africa.
Thank you very much for sharing all this information. I can just imagine a lot of viewers now watching, seeing possibilities, opportunities, especially in these farmers. Any last advice for them?
I think they're going to be a critical role in our economy. For farmers, I think the most important thing is just make sure that whatever farm you're going to go into, you do some homework with regards to, like we said, those segments, whether you want to farm in industrial hemp or whether you go high CBD, make sure you know what the end result is. Make sure that you know what infrastructure. Do not use consultants that are just going to charge you for those things. You know, rather do it with somebody that's done it before. There's lots of people out there that's able to assist you, and I'll help anybody because I think it's important that we can assist our people. But I think the most important, like we said, is whether it be industrial hemp, whether it be high CBD or THC, do your homework. Make sure that you understand how you're going to keep your cost low to be able to be globally competitive. And the rest is about making sure you have the right people and operationally successful. So I wish everybody luck out there, yeah?
Thank you for Master as well. Yeah, we've seen in the past the people sharing information openly. It's got an open hand. They're usually the ones the most successful. So I know you're going to keep on going from strength to strength. So thanks a lot for Master as well.
Okay.